Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much, Jamal, for that. I'm a little bit under the weather, so please kindly pardon me, especially my voice. Good evening, everybody. Please confirm you can hear me perfectly, just with a thumbs up or just emoji at all. All right, thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. I'm just going to quickly share my screen so we can get into it. No, not this one. I'm supposed to share this one. Sorry. Stop sharing this. Hold on. I'm supposed to share this one. What's it? Okay. Okay. I think my screen is sharing now. We are presenting the. Okay. Please confirm you can still see my screen. I don't know how to share screen on what's it called? Google Google Meet. Oh. I don't use it. So I don't know where to start from. Jamal, how do they share screen on Google Meet to keep using? No, I use online. Yes, I'm on the slide already, but it's online. So should I use the online version? Okay. Okay, please hold on. Okay, slideshow. Okay, presenter. Is it this one? So can you see my screen now? Okay. All right. I think we're good, yeah? Okay. Okay. Good evening, everybody, once again. I'm so sorry. I really don't use Google Meet. Oh, which one is over screen again? Yeah. Hey. Mm-mm. No, I can't say anything. No, this one. I don't. But I want to be able to see you guys so that when I'm asking questions, if anybody, okay, maybe you can help me anytime there is any. All right, thank you. Thank you very much. Sorry for the technical glitch. I'm so sorry. I don't use Google Meets. I don't use it at all. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to today's session. I'm super thrilled to be here today, honestly, to discuss this critical topic. It's one of my interesting topics to actually talk about GTM. Very, very interesting one. And today we're going to be talking on developing product and campaign GTM strategy. So by the end of today's or our time together, you should have like a clear understanding of what it takes to launch effectively and achieve your business objectives. But before we dive in, where's the next? Before we dive in, this is just a quick introduction of who I am. My name is Elizabeth Ogunseye, and I'm probably known as Cicilizi too because that's my brand name. And I'm a marketing professional doing that since 2014. And three of the companies I've worked from or have worked with, they've grown from $0 to about $3 million average recurring revenue. I know. And I've worked with Expo Security Service. I've worked in Boomplay Music, Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya, Reliance Health, Zabira's Technology, Brooklyn Restoration Service in the United States. And currently I work with Sterling Bank. And yeah, that's and outside work, I have three dogs. I'm quite an interesting person. I spend most of my time probably doing reading, probably going to salsa and just enjoying life because life is supposed to be enjoyed. So, what do we expect to learn today? After or when we are done with today's session, I'm looking that you would have gained solid understanding of a GTM strategy because GTM strategy is very, very essential in anything you do. So I'm going to be breaking down the core components, helping you to understand each of the moving parts. We would also explore how to adapt your strategy, whether you're launching any groundbreaking new products or you're just doing a targeted marketing campaign in your space. Crucially, we're just going to be talking about how to measure your success, insights, and anything that has to do with GTM pretty much. So before we go in, I want to just ask the class, just 2%, what do you think GTM is in your own understanding? Just in one word, actually, what do you think GTM is? Just in one word, what do you think it is? From if you've created one before, I mean, you can be excluded. But for anybody that's just been hearing GTM strategy, what do you think a GTM strategy is? So please, Jamal, if you can help with the hand raise, because I can't really see the screen right now.
Okay, to me, in one word, I would say GTM is to launch.
Okay.
So yeah, it's pretty much a way to announce the products announce products with markets really.
Okay. Thank you. Anybody else wants to give it a go? Anybody else? Do we have any hands? No. And 3, 2, 1, go. All right, we don't have any hands. Thank you very much. I didn't know that person that spoke, but you are still on track. So now, in simple words, because one thing about me is I like to define things in simple words. A GTM plan is pretty much a strategy. It's a plan to deliver value to your customers profitably. Now, every time when people talk about GTM, people just want to say, "Oh, I want to launch. I want to launch. So anything I want to launch, let me create GTM, GTM." But now I need to break it to you that GTM is not just marketing. It's not just marketing. It is how you position your team to win. Every team, actually, every of your stakeholders, your sales team, your product team, the growth team you're working with, every team involved with your business. A GTM is actually more than just marketing because that's the way people see it. People just see it as, oh, it's just marketing now. Let me just quickly. Mm-mm. So it's more than just, oh, I want to launch a product. Let me quickly work on a GTM. It's more than just, I want to do a marketing campaign for December. Let's quickly work on the GTM. You need to be able to factor in everybody that is supposed to be like your stakeholder, that is supposed to work on this product to you, that is like part of the stakeholders in releasing that product or whatever it is that you want to do, a marketing campaign or anything. Your GTM is supposed to think of all of these people. Now, your GTM is also who you are talking to. What are you saying to them? Where are you going to reach these people? How do you want to ultimately drive sales or adoption for whatever it is that you're selling? So the ultimate goal is to achieve a competitive advantage and also maximize your chance of success, which also you need to just ensure that your offering resonates with the right audience. So always think about GTM as more than just, I want to launch something, let me just quickly do a document. I want to we are going to launch a product, let me just do GTM because we want to launch products and everything. It is more than that, actually. So we need to always think about it more than how we see it right now. So moving on, why do you need a GTM? Why do you need a go-to market strategy when you want to, why do you bother about a go-to-market strategy? Honestly, why do you need it? Okay, I want to launch a product. So we can just do marketing plan now. We can just do content plan. We can just sit down now. Why can't we just sit down and do anything? It's why do we have to do GTM? Why do we what's GTM self? Because I mean, when I started marketing, I don't think there is anything. I don't think we were really always concerned about GTM, honestly. It was GTM, but I think we didn't just name it GTM because we just used to do marketing plan and say, but I think because the scope has expanded more than where we used to sell to at that time. So why exactly do you need GTM? Simply put it this way, it is a power of purpose. I mean, you need to be able to know why you are doing something. So, first, your GTM brings you clarity, it brings you alignment. Everyone from your product development team to your sales team to your marketing team is working towards a shared vision. That's why I mentioned initially from the start that a GTM is not just about, it's not for you alone. Because you're a marketing team, you think, oh, the only thing you need to consider in your GTM is just you, or it's just what you guys want to work about. Okay, we want to sell on Twitter. Let's no, you need to make sure that everybody in your space, everybody is aligned with what you are doing. It's a shared vision. That's how you need to look at it, as a shared vision. Another thing you need to look at is that the reason is that it's actually very crucial for risk mitigation, and it allows you to identify and address roadblocks. There are times when something is missing, and maybe because you are not thinking about it, or maybe because you are the only one thinking about it on your team, but because the sales team is there for you to also think about it with you. They are there to also bring out their own ideas. They are able to quickly help you to, because sales team are the ones that are closer to the audience, to the users that you want to talk to, because they will still be the one to go out and everything, because they are there with you to talk about it. Because the product development team are also there to say, okay, this is what we are thinking and all of that. These are the most reasons why you need a GTM. Now, another reason you need to also look at is it provides a framework for tracking success. When you have a go-to market strategy, you are able to know, okay, this is what we've done this time. This is our week one. We've done this. Is it working? It's not working. What are the numbers that these have brought us to so far? Do we need to pivot immediately? Do we need to move from this one? Do we need to remove this one from this? Do we need to change something? Do we need to switch something? Do we so having a GTM just provides clarity, pretty much like I mentioned earlier. Streamline the parts of your customer acquisition, differentiates your offerings in a crowded market. And there is something I also want to say, that if you are investing time and budgets where it has where you think you need to have impact, a well structured executed GTM will just help you accelerate your adoption. All you just need to do it for you is just to help you make sure that it is easier for your customers to discover and embrace your offering, because you already have something like a map. That's why there is even a map, because a map is so when people are trying to travel, for Google Map especially, that's the way we have Google Maps. If you ask me now and say, why do you need Google Map? Most times most people need it for clarity, because it helps you to know that this is where I'm going to, especially if you don't know where you're going to. If you don't know where you're going to, and you turn on your Google Maps right now and you say, take me to this so place, your Google Maps is going to start leading you there. Turn right, turn left. That's what pretty much a GTM is for us marketers, or product marketers, or growth marketers, or any form of marketing you are doing. Now, let's look into the core pillars or core competent components of a GTM strategy. Please, if I'm talking too much or too fast, not too much, too fast, please, Jamal, I would really appreciate like a callback if I'm going too fast, because I can't see my screen. So it's really sad that I can't see my screen. So if I'm going too fast, please just help me, call me back. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. So think of this. I want you to think of these roadblocks. Think of this as when you are building, what's that thing that children build? What's that block? What's that thing that children used to build? I don't
Lego.
know. Thank you. Just think,
Lego.
yes. Think of the components of Lego as those blocks when you are you are doing when you see if there are no blocks there, you can't build a Lego. So it means pretty much just means that if there are not all of these things here, all of these components you see on the screen here, you don't know, you are probably not going to be building anything or creating anything. So let's start with deep market research and understanding your customers, because trust me, everything flows from knowing your audience. If you don't know your audience or people you are speaking to, I'm not old though, but when I started marketing, before we do anything, we we usually go out. I don't know if that's still a practice right now, because I know that people just mostly just start something. We usually go out to research. We go and we even at Reliance, before we there was a last what's it called, the last HMO that was done. Before that HMO became a thing, we had to go out, act as if we are customers at hospitals, randomly, just act as hospital patients, talk to people randomly, just to understand what people are talking about, understand what they are saying. We did like physical going out for research, did Google link and everything, because we didn't want to just sit down and think, okay, Google link is going to get us everything we need or every insight we need at this point. We went out, went to different hospitals, because we needed to understand. We need to understand. We needed to do understand why something was not working at a point. So if we didn't have to do that, know our customers, we wouldn't have. There wouldn't have been anything like Diamond Plan. I don't know any if anybody use Reliance here. The Diamond Plan you're seeing right now is as a result of deep research. Is as a result of getting insight into, okay, why is this Alexandra not really bringing in the people as much as it's supposed to bring in these people. There were questions, there were results, there were answers to see, okay, it looks like there's demand for more than this. Why not just bring in more than this? So it means that if we didn't do that research, if we didn't do deep research to understand our customers, to understand what they need, to get clarity into what they need, we'll probably just be there and we'll be seeing that customers are churning. They are probably calling us out on Twitter because, I mean, there is something happening in the hospital they go to and they have to pay that money, small money, because, I mean, and they think that I can pay more than this now. So why am I getting this type of treatment in the hospital? So then quickly we're going to move into clearly defining your product offering and its unique value proposition and following that, we're going to cover pricing and strategy, um, impactful messaging and positioning, selecting the right audience, selecting the right channels for distribution, and what's it called, sorry, somebody is distracting me here. Crucial to success of your sales and so sales enablement, and also of course your marketing and demand generation. And finally, we're going to say no GTM is actually complete without a plan for your post launch activity and a feedback loop. So we're going to explore each of these components, each of these things that form your GTM strategy, each of these one by one. We're going to be going into it. I hope we're not going to waste too much time. Yeah, it's just 9:17, so I still have time. All right, so let's start with the absolute first step: market research and customer understanding. Like I mentioned earlier, an example of how a new HMO was found or brought to life: market research, customer understanding. This is arguably the most crucial one. Like, if you don't understand who you want to communicate to, who you want to serve, if you don't define the perfect customer, if you don't define your ideal customers, the ideal people that you're supposed to be serving, a detailed profile of these key decision makers, what problem are you solving, understanding the last landscape pretty much, you are probably not going to know what to do with starting a GTM. And that's why it's always very funny I mean, as much as templates is good, templating work is actually very good. But sometimes it's always good when you start something yourself, because that thing you're starting yourself, most times I usually just outsource some things because I don't want to do it at that point. But when I really want to do it, I will sit down from beginning to the end. It's me that will sit down and do it, because I don't want to miss any step. So if you miss the step of understanding your users, you cannot build an effective GTM. I mean, if without truly knowing who your users are, identifying the target market, who are you serving, drilling down to your ideal customer profile, knowing what they do, who they are, where they are, what kind of work do they do, how do you want to picture them when you're selling this market, because you don't want to sell a cheap product to expensive people. You don't want to sell an expensive product to cheap people. I mean, there's no cheap people, but I want to believe that we understand this context. So the type of company this individual are, there's just a lot of insight to actually gain. So from there you build a detailed buyer persona to say that, okay, and let's be sincere, oh, I have always seen people think that buyer persona is supposed to be human people. It's always a frictional representation of your key decision makers. Is always, is meant to even be frictional. You don't need to deep it too much. All you just need to do is, once you already do the first three steps, it should just give you an idea. Okay, Elizabeth, she works in, she's earning, it's not like you know how much Elizabeth is earning. There's any Elizabeth in your head initially. You are just building a character. That character is what you now help you, know what problem you want to solve for Elizabeth. So yeah, just complete their complete demography, what motivates them, challenges, understanding their pain points, a lot of all these things thoroughly. And of course, the overall market size, every of these things is what you need to do first when you are sitting down and saying, okay, we have a campaign. Okay, Elizabeth, I need you to work on a GTM. The first thing you just need to start doing is, okay, who are the people I want to talk to? Then list key of these things are the things you need to start defining first. Once you know who you are talking to, you now have a crystal clear on, okay, what you are launching, the values or you are launching. So this means that at this point you are defining your product and offering, your value proposition. What exactly do you want to offer them? At Reliance, when we set value proposition, after defining these people, and we had said, okay, we had seen the type of people we were thinking, okay, we want to sell this diamond plan to. After coming up with their profile, their personnel, to say, okay, this is how we want them to look like, so that when they come to say they are ready to start paying for this insurance, they can pay for it. We already had the value, we already differentiated the type of, when we say, if we tell you to pay this amount for this insurance, because we also realize that a lot of Nigerians don't really like to pay for insurance. But we now thought of it that, okay, if we are able to coin the benefits for this set of people in a different way, maybe they would buy it or not. So what exactly are you offering? The key benefits. Why choose you? That means that, why are we choosing them? Why are we selling this offer to them? Why are we trying to say that, oh, this is why you should actually buy a diamond plan, or you should start subscribing to diamond plan? This is why we think that Alexandrite is not good for you, because we've seen that we see that you are in a higher level than this Alexandrite plan. Come to diamond plan, and these are the things that we're going to do. So, and your value needs to be clear. It needs to be concise. Your, like, the articulation of your value needs to be clear to people, to the extent that it's not something they have to be thinking of, like, okay, diamond plan, okay, this is the price. After the price now, okay, what exactly is the next thing? So all this just cumulates to having a powerful value proposition, deliver value. One thing I used to tell people is, for my users, I am always concerned about value. What value am I offering to them? Because if you are not offering value and you cannot spell out your value to people, why should you be there at all? Or why should they even come to you at all? So I am always very concerned about the value because that's what makes a product. Value, products, users, your customers, if they're not getting value, they leave you. If they are getting value, they stay. That's why we see what OPay is off OPay is right now. The way, because I mean, if we look at OPay and Pampay, I don't know if anybody knew when Pampay started. OPay came, they were clear with their value. They were clear with their value proposition. It's not like Pampay was not doing what they were doing at that time, but OPay's value proposition was clear to the extent that it was so clear that when I, as a customer, is telling you about OPay, you understand clearly what OPay is. And it's so interesting to you, it's so intriguing to you. And the next thing you want to do is also download it and start using it. You see it online, you're already thinking, oh, let me also start using OP. So you want to make sure that your value proposition, defining your value proposition is very clear and articulate. And for new products, you need to consider your minimum viable products for campaigns. So what is your core objective and desired outcome? That's what this just means. What's your core objective? What's your desired action? What are you trying to achieve? What are the things that you look to see at the end of whatever it is that you're trying to do in this phase? So let's go into pricing. uh, uh Now let me be sincere with you. I see pricing as one of the trickiest yet most impactful elements of a GTM strategy. I mean, for every time, it can be very difficult because it's not just about picking numbers. It's not just saying, uh, let's increase the money, because still example of reliance. Because diamond plan, alexandrite is this amount, redberry is this amount. Okay, let's increase the diamond plan to this amount. No, it's not just about number. You have to be strategic. It has to be about a strategic value for the money, just the way I mentioned earlier. If the money you are calling is not showing value, I mean, you might just be increasing money and people will just be the example is DSTV. Let's see what DSTV is doing. See DSTV keep increasing money. But I mean, everybody keep asking, why am I paying for DSTV when I'm not even getting value? You guys don't even release new movies. Do you understand? So to me, I just used to feel like whoever is doing their pricing, maybe it's not well thought out, or there's something they are missing when it comes to their pricing, because you're not releasing new movies. Most times, the only time we would normally subscribe to DSTV in this my house is when there's BB Ninja, or when there's one particular football. And these days, football is always being watched on something on I think a different channel or something. So it means that we can decide not to watch football on DSTV. So what exactly is there for anybody to be using? So you need to be very careful and strategic when doing your pricing. Um, there are several approaches to it. There are several approaches to it. Your cost plus pricing based is based on your production expense. You want to do your value based pricing, which aligns with your perceived customer value, and your competitor based pricing, where you benchmark against rivals. Benchmark your price against, okay, this is what this company is doing against this company. AXA Manzad is selling their highest what's it called, HMO. Reliance selling their highest HMO at this price. What are the values we are going to be giving? Does this value align with? Can I sell this value to make people come from AXA Manzad to me? Things like that. And you also want to continue. You want to consider also want to consider tiered pricing to cater for different segments, just the way we currently was currently done at Reliance, where Redberry is the lowest plan, Alexandrite is the next one, Diamond is the next one. These are tiered pricing because if you cannot afford Diamond plan, which is the highest and expensive, you can decide to go for Redberry. Redberry will still serve you, just that it's not going to serve you as much as Diamond, but it's still going to serve you. Um, um, there's also the old free trial, freemium things around that that you can always want to try out. But don't forget psychological pricing. It's just leveraging numbers like, say for instance, you want to leverage numbers like $9.99. When people see it, they'll probably be like, okay, $9.99. Okay, let me. I don't know if you guys have seen any Instagram vendor when they want to put their pricing, they'll probably put it's $40,000, 40,000 naira. They will not put 99.999 naira. I don't know if you've seen any of those Instagram vendors like that. It's actually psychological pricing. They do it like that because, I mean, in your head, you'll be thinking, Sherry, it's 39.999 that I'm paying. There's no issue now. Let me quickly pay it since it's 39.9999. But you will know that this thing is actually strategic. A lot of times people don't think about it as strategic. People just think, oh, they're just putting the, I'm smart. Hmm. It's actually a strategic way to price. Um, the key considerations are desired market position. I mean, your target audience, your perceived value, and your target audience willingness to pay. You need to consider all of these things too. Um, but a well thought out pricing strategy can significantly impact your adoption and revenue. If you, I understand the economy, the part where there's just a lot that is expensive, and companies might just be thinking, we can, and that's what is that, like, I will keep saying it. That's what is still killing DSTV till today. I don't know what the old thing around them still is, but there are times they could have done the pricing better, you know, showed more value to people, let people see why they should pay for it, and people will still do. Because the only time a lot, I would still say the only time most Nigerians pay for all this DSTV thing is because of BB Niger. Do you know that BB Niger is a value? But at the time when they do those things, even right now, most people will still not do BB Niger again right now because they just feel like, oh, it's a waste of money, Jerry. I'll be watching it on Twitter. Now that there's even a lot of journalists everywhere in Nigeria, in the world, anybody can just record something and put online, and you just feel like 2 3 BB Nigerians now have not been bothered, because most I just feel like, oh, I will watch it online, and I have always been watching it online. Not like I care about it so much, but I've always been watching it on Twitter. If I don't watch it on Twitter, I'll see one snippet on Instagram that will be so interesting. I'll feel like, oh, I've seen what happened again. Yeah, so I don't bother about anything that is happening. So you need to be very conscious about your pricing strategy. Now let's quickly go into, after your pricing. Once you have your products and your pricing, the next step you need to look at is, how do you want to be perceived? And this is where your marketing and your messaging and your positioning comes in. This is where they come to play out. This is where they come in to say, okay, oh, we are ready to show off. How do you want people to say, okay, when they read it? How do you want to position your product to let people know that, oh, when they see it, they know that, okay, what this person is trying to talk about to us. And it starts with overarching brand story and narrative, the emotional connection you want to build with people. From that, you drive your key message, you tailor it to each of your buyer persona. You've built a buyer persona. Don't forget that you've built your buyer persona already. You've done all of that already in the first stage. So how do you want each of those people to connect with whatever it is that you're selling to them at that point? You need to define your tone of voice. How you communicate to people. Do you, when you're writing briefs, I don't know if everybody is familiar with when you're writing briefs. When you write a brief, there's always tone in the brief, because the tone you put there is what is going to determine how your content writers are going to write it. So you want to make sure that you are you do you want to sound innovative? Do you want to sound friendly? Do you want to sound authoritative? Do you want to sound emotional? So a lot of all these things are very, very important to factor into your messaging and how you want to be positioned. So crucially, you need to craft a very clear positioning statement that clears. um there's a brand I want to remember. Oh, maybe as we go, and I was going to write it down. maybe when I remember, maybe when I remember again. You want to just make sure that it is clearly articulate where it sits in a relative competitive market. Whether it is OPay that is trending at that point and you still want to sell your market, the way you position your products, the way you put it out there. I don't know if you guys have been seeing Country Hard from One Bank by Sterling. We're currently doing like a free transfer thing. And the first thing when we were sitting down to strategize about, okay, how should we sell this? How should we sell this? We have to look at what's happening in the environment. We've defined the people that we want to speak to. These people we want to speak to, what do you think would make them enticed? I mean, there's OPay, there's PamPay, there's Money Point, there's Kuda. There's a lot of these people that are already offering something already, and those things that we want to offer in 2025. Most of these people are already offering these things, but how do we want to still stand out? We came up with the Country Hard. Then from that Country Hard, we started using that Country Hard tone to create content, use the content writers. This is how we want the content to go. Brand marketing, this is how we want it to be positioned. These are content we want to see out. A lot of influencers we're going to be working with, this is how we want them to speak about the products or the organization Sterling. So you just need to make sure that you define all of these things when you are building your and very very also important to emphasize your differentiation. And then when you've done all of this, you've put everything of these things together, what do you want your audience to do next? Do you want them to download your app now? Do you want them to sign up now? Do you want them to follow you? Do you want them to subscribe to your email channel? Do you want them to subscribe to your newsletter? Anything you want them to do, you want to make sure that it is there at the end of whatever, all the things that you've put together to do. Now, you've decided, you know what you say. You now need to decide where to say it, how to deliver your offering. This is just about all channels and distributions. You might want to opt for direct sales with your own team. You might want to leverage sales outside, maybe through partners, resellers, distributors. Just we did the same thing. We have sales team in Sterling, but because of what we wanted to do, we had to start leveraging different agencies to say, okay, this is what we want to achieve. This is how we want to achieve it. We want this to happen. We have a goal. We have a target. We've already drawn out our GTM plan already. We chose the direct sales, indirect sales. Can it come? We had to just come, and that's because we already have a plan of how we want to do it. So you can decide on any channel you want to use. And one thing you need to note is that your online channels will be critical. There's no how you want to remove it, because for all those people you are using, those sales guys, those skinny com, when they sell to people, there are times when these people would want to check you out online. Your website needs to be fully optimized. Very very important. Your Instagram page needs to be fully optimized. It needs to show the value. I want to come to your Instagram page, and the first thing as a user, after being sold your product, I want to come to your page and see the product, or something that helps me or solve my problem, something that resonates with whatever it is that I've been sold to. I don't want to come to your page when they've sold to me that I will see, like, we are doing free debit card, 2000 naira when you use the free debit card, for instance. Then someone comes to maybe Sterling main page or One Bank main page, and there is nothing that speaks to any of these offerings that they've been sold to. So you want to make sure that a lot of all these things are done. So beyond all these direct sales, you need to also think about your digital marketing channels. Your social media is very important, like I said. Your email, your SEO, SEM. Don't forget, all of these things are very important. The power of public relations for end media is very, very important, and you have to be strategic about it when doing it. And when choosing, you need to consider where your target audience spend more of their time, the cost of the channel, the level of control, its scalability. Is it going to fly? Right now, we've been limited to just direct sales, like digital sales. And this means that we need to make sure that whoever you are bringing in, they need to do something, they need to be funded, carded, and all of that. So it means that any direction we are going to, we want to make sure that channels we are going to be using, they are channels that whatever audience we speak to at that point, it's anything we sell to them at that point resonates with them, and they will definitely take action when we ask them to take action. Now, yeah, I already spoke this area. Ah, my slide is still plenty. Oh, GTM is a lot. Oh, what? What do you do? Ah, okay. Ah, okay. Oh, but it's still. I think. What's I don't even know what number of slide we have right now, but I think it's still about 20 something. So it's just a lot, honestly, because it's a lot of conversation, and this is me just even trying to squeeze in what we're supposed to talk about. But I think I already spoke about this channel already, distributing in all of this channel, partnership, leveraging other businesses. You want to make sure that you factor it into your GTM, your target audience, control, scalability, how well are these channels going to scale for you? If you need to pivot quickly, I think I mentioned it earlier, you need to consider all of these things in your GTM. Now, for many products and services, particularly in B2B, I don't know how many people do B2B here or how many people do B2B here. Sales is like very critical. If you are doing B2B and you are not sales driven, it's going to be very hard, like very, very hard. For me now, my products are both B2B and B2C. So, I mean, like, you can imagine my head is on most days. So because B2B, you need to know that you are selling, you need to be able to show what's it called? Um Sales-led growth, sales-led results is very, very important. So this component just focuses on empowering your sales team. It starts with clearly defining your sales processes from the initial lead generations all the way to closing a deal, from getting people to sign off to making sure that they are funded, they are carded, they are active users and all of that. It just pretty much just covers all of these things. So, and investing in a comprehensive sales training, I do that. I think I usually do it 3 times a month before, but I have to reduce it right now because the sales team are very, very busy these days. So I always make sure that at least 3 times in a month we're meeting twice in our HQ here in Ilupeju, and once we do it online because most people are based in like everywhere. So I always try as much as possible to meet their leaders in Ilupeju physically, and others join us online so that we know where because we need to be on the same page. If you and your sales team are not on the same page, because you need your sales team, they need you, so you both need each other. And if they are not aware of incentives that you're doing, if they're not motivated, if they don't know how to do onboarding, if they don't a lot of all these things, if they are not robust or good in it, you might not make the sales, you might not even utilize them as much as you need to utilize them. So investing in trainings are very, very crucial. It's not just about the product features, but it's about the sales techniques. How do you want them to sell it to people? I keep telling my team members. One of them was telling me recently, "Hey, but Elizabeth, you already told us that we cannot give people offerings anymore. There is no offering. So what do you want us to do now?" I said, the truth is, me, I don't want you to go and tell people that, oh, they should come and download one bank now, and because of that, it's because of 500 naira that we're going to give them as welcome bonus. That's why you need to. I want you to be able to sell the product differently. There are different product, there are different offerings, there are different reasons why people should use one bank. So I need you to be able to sell the product in a way that will make them want to be convinced to come in. So it's not just about telling, oh, if you download one bank, sign up, you get a free debit card, and you get 2,000 naira. No, I don't want you to sell products in that way. So you need to be able to, train your sales in this way. They need to be able to understand buyers' psychology. You need to provide them with sales collateral decks. Engage. I me once is begin like this April 1st, I mean July 1st, the first I had to tell my content writer, yeah, we need to start working on a new different, we need to work on new videos. I need to create new videos because a lot of features are already on one bank. So I need new features, new things that they can talk about. I need us to start creating videos in that aspect, in that regard, that they can take out. We need to create new flyers. We need to create new this, we need to create that. And that's the way I usually think. So when there are things like this, I'm always making sure that my sales team, they are 100% on board with me. And at least proper CRM integration for lead tracking of these leads is also very crucial. You want to be able to track it properly because you don't want someone to come and tell you now and say, this month we did 100 and something. How do we know that you did 100 and something? So a lot of all these things are very crucial to add. Define your quotas. You very, very important. Else you just be paying money, or the company will just paying money and they will hold you to it, especially if your KPIs are tied together. You will be held responsible for why there is not this thing. So for B2B, in to round this up, um strong alignment with your account based marketing is very, very key. So you want to make sure that you are in strong alignment with your account based management team to close up a lot of all these things. Moving into the marketing and demand generation aspect, this is just about creating buzz, capturing your leads, the things you use to capture these leads. This is where you bring your messaging, that messaging and how you want to be positioned. This is where you bring it to life. This is where you come together to say that, okay, um, um, you think this is okay, let's say this is how, this is where you think about your content marketing strategy, your blog, your articles, your videos, your infographic. I don't know if we use infographic a lot in Nigeria, Sha, but it's always very important. The product that I worked with in the US, it was a very, very important aspect of our content. Whenever we do content marketing meetings, or whenever we need to put out something, infographic is like very, very is a tool, is a particular strategy that we use, and it works perfectly. So leveraging digital advertising, PPC, that's Google ads, display ads, targeted social media campaigns, implementing strong email marketing strategy to nurture your leads, because you don't want your leads to stay more than 48 hours or 24 hours before you reach out to them. It's always very important. If you are not reaching out to your leads one on one and they are online and you're getting those leads, you want to make sure that at least in 24 hours you already reach out to these leads, because trust me, they are competitors. There are people that are trying to also reach out to these same leads that you're doing. So you have to make sure that all your materials are already on ground to reach out to them as they are coming in. After 24 hours, pull them, reach out to them through email, through push notifications, through any means, that even SMS retargeting, you can reach out to your users, and don't overlook it. Don't just overlook the power of, all of these channels that you're going to be looking at. So all this effort contributes to filling your lead generation funnel, and guiding users through their journey in your products, in your app, inside your software, or anything that you use. Yeah, so I think we are going to be done soon. Now let's move into the last component of a proper GTM strategy. Oh, okay, my light is off. Okay, my light is off. So let's move into a proper post launch and feedback loop. One common mistake is thinking that the GTM, your go to market strategy, ends at launch. So when you launch and you have gone out to the markets, that's it, that's all now. Should be that's all. That's why I said at the beginning that it's not just about the launch. In reality, that is just the beginning of your work. It's the beginning of a continuous circle. Because you need to keep looking at it. Is it working? We use TikTok now. Is TikTok giving us the number we need? We use Meta. Is Meta Ads giving us the number you? So iteration and optimization is where your work starts. So you need to continue to track, monitor. And one thing I always tell people is that marketing is about, probably, is it marketing or growth marketing? But I mean, marketing generally is about testing. If you don't test, you will not know what is working. You will not know. you should not be scared to test. Like, you should never be scared to test, and that's where you need to know that your GTM does not just stop in, oh, we've launched, oh yeah, we are already trending on Twitter, let's move on with life. So this phase focuses on your performance monitoring, tracking your key metrics, your KPIs, actively collecting feedbacks, checking online. When we launched the free transfer and the Afrigo debit card thing, after we've launched and we've started seeing a lot of things talk day by day, I still have to go back to social media most times to just go and search on what people are saying, because I mean we cannot afford melt water, so you need to track what people are saying too sometimes manually. So I still just go randomly to check what people are saying, because I'm very big on my products. I don't think there is anybody that knows me now that does not know that this is where I work, because I am always everywhere talking about it. I am always everywhere talking about it. So I'm always just searching randomly. What are people saying at this point? Are people saying, do we need to fire on to say more things, to do more things to make sure that people are talking about us again, things like that. So you don't sit back and relax when when the food is done. You need to keep checking, conduct thorough sales performance analysis, understand what's working, understand what's not working, not in your own conversion process. So you need to continuously optimize for marketing campaign. A/B test is also very, very important. I don't know if all of us do A/B test, but A/B test is very, very, very important. You need to know what's if this headline is working, if it's not working, if it's resonating, the graphic you use, the video you use. You want to test two. You might want to test that same video but different copies in it. Things like that. Very, very important. And focus on your customer success. Are they retaining? Are they coming back? Are they do they even like your service to be able to write a report, a post-launch report, and learn from it and everything. So yeah, I think okay. Yeah, okay. I think we're not done. Oh, sorry guys. We're not done. So while your core component of GTM remains very consistent, the emphasis and intensity to shift whether you are launching a full product or a specific campaign. For a product GTM, you need to look at a typical longer life cycle. It requires deeper market research, focus on long-term adoption, recurring revenue, because you don't want to get in people that they will just do
It's 20 hours.
they will do transaction today and next month they've left you. That's why cohort analysis is very, very important. Cohort analysis is very, very important. So your channel strategy will be broader, and sales enablement is going to absolutely crucial in this aspect when you get to this aspect. So there's also a significant commitment to your post-launch product. What's it called? Let me see where we okay. So what's it called? So I mean, in comparison with a campaign GTM, it's usually very shorter. If you look at it here, a campaign GTM is always short, is more focused, more objective focused, lead generation, awareness, yada yada, target audience specific. So a lot of all these things, if you are doing unlike if you are working on a product GTM, say you want to release a product, if you are doing proper products, if you want to do a proper go-to market, it's not a thing you just do in a day. And you think, no, we usually do, when we wanted to release, even this for campaign, ordinary campaigns, most times we took a week and some days for meetings, back to back meeting up, night conversations on how we want it to be out there, how we want it to be seen. It took vigil self sometimes. We said, oh my goodness, okay. Okay.